Well, hello everyone. Merry Christmas. Thanks for taking the time to join us for this Christmas meditation. And welcome to this Capricorn pre-full moon meditation. The exact moment of the full moon will be on either December 26th or 27th, depending on where in the world you live. In the GMT time zone, it will be at just across the line at 12:33 a.m. GMT, December 27th. So, as is our habit, let's start by taking a brief look at the astrological chart. The full moon at 4 degrees 58 minutes of Cancer is particularly highlighted this month because it is in the sign that it exoterically rules. The moon in Cancer has a nurturing, caring, loving energy, and thus helps bring people together during this holiday season. Because full moons are always opposite the sun, they stimulate the energy of one of the 6 astrological axes. Of this Capricorn-Cancer opposition, DK says the polar opposites to Capricorn is Cancer. And as you have been taught, these 2 signs are the 2 great gates of the zodiac. One opening the door into incarnation, into mass life, and into human experience, whilst the other opens the door into the life of the spirit, into the life of the kingdom of God, the life and purposes of the hierarchy of our planet. Cancer admits the soul into the world center, which we call humanity. Capricorn admits the soul into conscious participation in the life of that world center, which we call the hierarchy. The theme of the 2 gates is further strengthened this month, during this month's full moon, by a series of sextiles. The first linking the sun to Saturn, the second linking Saturn to Jupiter, and the third linking Jupiter to the moon. This is a very beneficent and really beautiful configuration. Sextiles bring in the energy of opportunity, especially in this case, if you have any aspects from 2 to 5 degrees of a sign, you'll plug right in to this configuration. This opportunity is further highlighted by the planets involved in these sextiles, with Jupiter expanding the opportunities for growth offered by Saturn. These 4 planets, quote unquote, linked by sextiles, are further connected by trines. Thus, we have a trine between the moon and Saturn, representing the form aspect, the rare and beautiful geometry thus created, and then we also have a trine between Jupiter and the sun, representing the spirit aspect. This rare and beautiful geometry thus created brings us an incredibly powerful and beneficent tool for integrating spirit and form. And it's thus a perfect opportunity for soul contact and integration. It also expands and articulates the theme of the 2 gates, represented by the Cancer-Capricorn axis. It actually carves a path for us from one gate to the next, which is really the same as getting in touch with the soul. Interestingly, this pattern gives us 4 of the 6 points of a 6-pointed star. Pluto, now sextile Venus, continues to drill down in this 29th degree of Capricorn. This position, called the anaretic degree, is both critical and karmic, signifying a point of crisis, urgency, and intensity. here somewhat softened by the energy of Venus, but also there's a stimulation of this energy. When this occurs in Capricorn, this particular configuration of 29th degree, it can influence the world power structure in terms of authority, especially in terms of authority, control, responsibility, and integrity. So, we see this influence going on in the world around us in spades right now. Pluto is and has been conjunct Pluto's U.S. natal position of 27 degrees Capricorn since 2020. It's been doing this kind of excavating work, really setting the stage for a period of profound transformation, dredging to the surface all the changes that need to be made, but in particular because of this natal position of the U.S., Pluto's U.S. natal position at 27 degrees Capricorn, you have this particularly influencing the U.S. But it's being the furthest outer planet, it is very much a transpersonal influence affecting the whole world. Okay, let's start by taking a quick look at Capricorn, whose exoteric keywords are let ambition rule and the doors stand wide, and whose esoteric keywords are lost am I in light supernal, yet on that light I turn my back. In his 2018 pre-full moon webinar, Michael says, Capricorn, from the first ray perspective, is the law. There's different ways that these first ray constellations represent the first ray. Aries just goes forward no matter what. Leo holds the center, and Capricorn impresses the law upon humanity and upon the lower worlds in general. So if we apply this teaching to what's going on with Pluto in the last degree of Capricorn, you can see the particular nature of this Plutonian influence, Joe Froboshart's image for Capricorn shows one aspect of the law in practice through the sickle-wielding Father Time, an embodiment of Saturn, which doubly rules Capricorn, within the rocky cave of the manifested realm. Above him, triumphant in the supernal light of hierarchy, stands the two-horned goat, which is later transformed into the unicorn. During a lecture on Capricorn, Alice Bailey made the comment, at the foot of the mountain, the goat, the materialist, seeks for nourishment in arid places. The scapegoat on the way up finds the flowers of attained desire, each with its own thorn of satiety and disillusionment. At the top of the mountain, the sacred goat sees the vision and the initiate appears. And through that, the double-horned goat is transformed into the unicorn. It's similar to the idea of making thine eye single. The symbol for Capricorn is actually a blind, the true symbol being a secret of initiation. DK says, the symbol for the sign Capricorn is most mysterious. It conceals the mystery of the crocodiles or Makara. It is constructed in an inaccurate and definitely misleading manner and should be regarded as a mystery and therefore not to be defined. In a lecture on Capricorn, Alice Bailey adds to this saying, quote, its correct delineation would produce an inflow of force that would be undesirable. Also, this symbol is sometimes called the signature of God. Maybe it is for these reasons that the symbol is drawn in so many ways. Exoterically, the symbol represents a goat with a fish-like tail forming a circle, which represents spirit imprisoned in form. One might, and you can see that in all the glyphs as well. And one could speculate that when one reaches the top of the mountain, that tail is unfolded and spirit rushes through. The other endearing symbol for Capricorn is the mountaintop, which represents the door that ultimately leads from the fourth into the fifth kingdoms. But as DK points out, we climb this mountain many, many times before that final journey is made. Quote, Capricorn is ever the sign of conclusion, and of this, the mountaintop is frequently the symbol, for it marks the point beyond which further ascent in any particular life cycle is not possible. Capricorn is therefore the sign of what has been called esoterically periodic arresting. Progress becomes impossible under the existing forms, and there has to be the descent into the valley of pain, despair, and death before a fresh attempt to scale the heights takes place. Okay, let's take a brief look at the Heraclean labor for Capricorn entitled The Slaying of Cerberus, Guardian of Hades. This 10th labor is two-pronged. First, Heracles must overcome Cerberus, you see him here, with his three heads, which represent sensation, desire, and good intentions not carried out, interestingly. Thus, like the Scorpionic Hydra and the Sagittarian Stymphalian birds, Cerberus represents certain personality aspects that must be mastered. Of note is the fact that Heracles strangles Cerberus's central throat, which represents desire. The second part of the labor represents a turning point for Heracles. For now, through this and the two preceding signs, Sagittarius and Scorpio, he has mastered his own lower nature and thus becomes an initiate. So from Capricorn, he goes forward as the initiate. This represents the birth of the sun god that always takes place in Capricorn. The gestation's in Virgo, the birth is in Capricorn. Therefore, going forward, the quality of his labor will now be to go back into the form world in order to save humanity, represented by Prometheus tied to a rock. After Heracles breaks Prometheus's chains, the teacher proclaims, "The light now shines within the world of dark." Thus, through this 10th labor, Heracles carries out Capricorn's esoteric keywords, "Lost am I in light's supernal, yet on that light I turn my back." Okay, with that, let's begin our meditation. So, spines erect. We can begin our regular breathing, rhythmic and deep, which helps to calm the physical, calm the emotional. So now let us lift our focus onto the mental plane and enter into the presence of the soul. As we gradually deepen, feel yourself moving into a field of light, of love, and of spiritual power. Now let us merge ourselves as individual souls into a deep sense of the group soul. We can facilitate this merging by visualizing a ring of white light with each of us as points within that ring. And at the center, the Master DK, who is one with the group soul. As our unity strengthens, let us extend this sense of inclusive connection out to the spiritually minded people of the world, including all men and women of goodwill. Now, in a conscious act of further extension, let us visualize our group soul merging into the one soul of humanity. In this act of greater expansion, of inclusion, comes the realization that there is no my soul and thy soul. In fact, it is in the living awareness of this unified field of consciousness that we can truly say, naught is but me. Okay, now that we've centered ourselves and expanded our field of recognition while bringing to bear the will aspect of the soul, visualize a potent point of tension within the mental unit, demonstrating as the color of your soul ray. This point of tension will form the foundation for the building of your Antakarana. If you don't know your soul ray or personality rays, you can always use the second ray color indigo. So now an active act of projection. Let us visualize our dual-colored individual antagaranas made up of the colors of our personality and soul rays, connecting the mental unit with the monastic permanent atom. So visualize a dual stream of intense color from that point at the top of the head, projecting into triadal realms. As our visualization grows stronger, visualize our individual antagaranas merging into the group antagarana, which glows with all the 7 colors, but primarily with the deep indigo blue of the second ray. Now collectively reaching up into the realms of the spiritual triad. Holding this visualization and this high point of spiritual tension and in continued identification with the group soul, let us together affirm the great word of power. I see the greatest light. We see the greatest light. Now let us collectively, while using the imagination, project a line of vivid, living white light, which is made up of all the 7 colors, into triadal realms. This great group light is met by a light from on high. In the presence of this great light of the spiritual triad, let us as a group attempt to feel the presence of the Great White Brotherhood, the Lodge of Masters, the spiritual hierarchy of our planet. To the degree that we can hold this collective point of tension at this high mental level, to that extent, we stand before the throne. Now, with heartfelt gratitude, let us offer our salutations to the masters and to the head of the hierarchy, the Christ. Salutations to the Buddha, the Lord of light and wisdom. Salutations to the Christ, the master of all masters. Salutations to the triangle of masters with whom we work most closely. Salutations to the Master Moria. Salutations to the Master Kuthumi. Salutations to the Master Dual Kul. Salutations to the spiritual hierarchy of our planet. Now, in group accord, let us lift our thoughts to Shambhala, the center where the will of God is known, and with deepest reverence and in all humility, attune to the presence of Sanat Kumara, standing at the center of Shambhala. It is in this focused, unified state that we can come to realize that Shambhala is the planetary center through which the energies of the constellations and the planets enter our world to be distributed to all living beings on Earth. Now let us turn our attention to the spiritual qualities emanating from the two planetary rulers of the sign Capricorn. Saturn, the exoteric and esoteric ruler, conveying first the discipline to honor all life's duties and karmic requirements. And as sensitivity to Saturn's esoteric influences begins to emerge, conveying the resolve to live according to the laws of the soul, thus fulfilling one's specific dharma in the divine plan. And Venus, Capricorn's hierarchical ruler, conveying the full illumination of the world of the soul to the eventually transfigured soul in incarnation. So let us first turn our attention to the potency of Saturn, the planet of opportunity, which has the power to bring both the individual and the group into alignment with karmic law through the exercise of spiritual responsibility. Consider the idea that by fulfilling the responsibilities that come to us through an energetic alignment with Saturn, we demonstrate the influence and guidance of the soul in our lives. It's a tool of alignment, a tool of release. Now let us as a group open our consciousness to the impressions born upon the Saturnian stream of energy. Let us together embrace our spiritual responsibility that we may better participate in the divine plan. Now imagine this group imbued with this sense of divine responsibility, transmitting the quality of purpose to all humanity. Let us now turn our focus to Venus, the hierarchical ruler of Capricorn, and its ability to bestow pure spiritual love and wisdom through the union of heart and mind, a quality realized within the supernal light on the mountaintop of initiation. For it is here that the secret of the soul is revealed, and the fullness of solar angelic energy is released into the spiritualized personality. Let us together consider how each of us, within each of our groups, and then together in this group, might help to liberate our planet from separative hate and ignorance through the soul love and wisdom that streams to and then through us from Venus. Now let us lift our focus to the solar logos, which expresses itself through our sun and the solar system. Consider the fact that we are ever immersed in the potency of love wisdom that pours through all the planets of this system, through Shambhala, and through every monad, soul, and personality on Earth. Now let us lift our focus to the constellation Capricorn, radiating its particular quality of light. DK describes this light as, quote, Capricorn, the light of initiation. This is the light which clears the way to the mountaintop and produces transfiguration, thus revealing the rising sun. With this light in mind, let us ponder the esoteric mantra for Capricorn. Lost am I in light supernal, yet on that light I turn my back. How can we bring this great mantra of service more fully into our individual and group lives? And finally, let us together visualize the following energetic downflow, starting in the constellation Capricorn, flowing down through the solar logos at the heart of the solar system, through Venus and Saturn into Shambhala. Then on down through our monads into the hierarchy, through the great Lord, the Christ, and into and through the ashram with which each of us believe ourselves to be increasingly associated. Then on down through the soul of this group and the groups with which you are affiliated. And finally, into your spiritualized personality. Now, while as a group holding this high alignment, let us, through the eyes of love and compassion, consider the world situation and imagine some single way that the potent energies of Capricorn, the transforming energies that lead us onto and up the mountaintop, might uplift and redeem humanity and the planet. Let's take a moment now. While still holding this high alignment, let us, with hands upraised and intoning the Om 3 times, send a group blessing into humanity so that it may rise to its true spiritual potential and thus fulfill the divine plan. We'll finish with a great invocation. From the point of light within the mind of God, let light stream forth into the minds of men. Let light descend on earth. From the point of love within the heart of God, let love stream forth into the hearts of men. May Christ return to earth. From the center where the will of God is known, let purpose guide the little wills of men, the purpose which the masters know and serve. From the center we call the race of men, let the plan of love and light work out, and may it seal the door where evil dwells. Let light and love and power restore the plan on earth. Om.